Hello, hello. Hi. I know I can't see you, but I can see everyone trickling in. So I'm really excited to have you here with me today. We can give it a couple, we can give it I want to say a minute or two, and then we can start. But for those who are here, can you put in the chat, where are you zooming in from? I always love to know where students are coming from, just to see A, what time is it over there? And B, it also allows me to get to know you a little bit. Ooh, Texas. Ooh, Nashville, Jersey. Oh, look at those East Coasters. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, Georgia. Oh, we have a couple of folks from Maryland. Yeah. Alabama. Oh, look at that. Yeah, good amount of Jersey here too. Anyone from New York? I'm like, that's where I'm from. Any New Yorkers? Mass. Hey, New York. I see you, Kellis. Louisiana. Oh, I was just in Louisiana. Seattle. Oh, wow. Seattle, it's like literally the other side of the country from me. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, y'all are coming in from all over the place. Another New Yorker. Hello, Dominique. So next question is, what? Well, actually, since I asked y'all where y'all are zooming in from, let me tell you where I'm zooming in from. So I am zooming in from West Haven, Connecticut. It is one town over from New Haven, Connecticut, which is where Yale is. So I live around 15 minutes away from Yale. Currently, I am not at Yale. It is 7:02 p.m. here, so I am currently in my home office. And my next question for y'all is, can you tell me a topic that you're interested in studying? It does not have to be a topic that you learned in school. I have students who are like, I don't learn about the stock market in school, but that's just something that I am passionate about in my own time that I do research. Ooh, Leah is interested in neuroscience. Ooh, biology or animation. That is a really, really good, like two separate, but also they can totally merge as well. Let's see. Poli-sci and law. Boubacar is interested in engineering. Ooh, epidemiology or medicine. Yeah. Cytology. Oh, wow. That is very, very specific. And so is aerial engineering. Yeah. Is cytology, the study of cytosis. And as a bio major in college, it's a long time ago. I'm like, is cytosis has to do with biology? And does that have to do with like the popping of a cell? Or at least like the engulfing of a cell. But clearly I am not in STEM anymore. Business, entrepreneurship, cars and engineering, public policy, theater. Oh, I love to see folks who are interested in theater. Medicine and business. Okay, this is absolutely amazing. I am so glad that you're all here with me today. So what we're gonna do is that now that I get to know a little bit more about you, we're going to close the chat just so I can have your precious time and your undivided attention. So what we're going to do is that if you have any questions throughout any time in this webinar, please feel free to use the Q&A function. And the Q&A, it should be on like the bottom bar. It looks like I believe it looks like a little speech bubble, but it should say Q&A. Use that to type your question. For those who see a question that is already in the Q&A and you're like, it's the same question that I have, just hit the thumbs up button. So this way I will answer questions priority-wise. The ones with more thumbs, I will answer that question first, mostly because it seems like a lot more students are interested in that question. So without ado, hello, my name is Shu Yi Zhou. My pronouns are she, her, and I am from Yale Young Global Scholars, and I am the cross-disciplinary program manager. And that is just a fancy title to say that I direct our Solving Global Challenges program here at Yale Young Global Scholars. And I told you all where I'm zooming in from. already in West Haven, Connecticut, for those of y'all who just came in. I'm going to quickly share my screen and we can get started. All right, let me just move this and move that. Perfect. Okay, so welcome, welcome. So YYGS 2023. So next summer, I know it sounds so far away, but it's, I feel like by the time it's like the summer just always ramps up. And before we know it, it's summer. So here this year, or should I say this upcoming year, we're going back to campus. And what that looks like is that we are going to be staying, or you're all going to be staying in Yale rooms, and on top of that, eating in the Yale dining rooms. And so you're going to experience what it means to be a Yale student. This is incredibly special, mostly because ever since the pandemic started, these past 2 years, we have been online. And so we're so excited to have our students back. And I'm so excited to play volleyball with y'all in the courtyard while y'all wait for your dining hall session. So without ado, let me quickly go to the next slide. Okay, so YYGS. So we are a pre-collegiate summer program for high achieving high school students from around the world. So each summer we really do have students from over 150 countries. And I believe the world, there are only a little over 200 countries. And so when we say that we are diverse, we are incredibly diverse. But of course, diversity doesn't mean inclusion, right? In any places. So for us, we truly mean diversity and inclusion. We want to make sure that folks that come to our program, that they feel seen, they feel heard. And this is where I come in, this is where all your instructors come in, and you are really supported all throughout these 2 weeks that you're here. And you will be choosing to participate in one of 4 academic tracks. I will be talking about it a little later. And on top of that, each session is 2 weeks long. And like I said earlier, you will be immersing yourself at Yale and be able to just latch onto the resources that Yale has to offer. Okay, so like I said earlier, we have 4 academic tracks, but first let me talk about the sessions. So there's session 1, which is from June 18th to June 30th, session 2, which is from July 2nd to July 14th, and session 3, which is July 16th to July 28th. Students may only participate in one session. So what you will be able to do once you apply is that you can rank your sessions, right? And so if you only want to participate in session 2, then just select session 2. If you want to do session 1 as your first preference, but if there is space in session 2 and 3, you can rank like, okay, I want session 1 first, and then 2, and then 3. Put in whatever works for your schedule. But once again, students can only participate in one session over the summer. And next, from there, you'll also be ranking, able to choose 3 out of the 4. And of course, the first one that you choose is the one that we will be putting you in. And then from there, if that's full, then we'll put you in your second choice. I believe that we actually have a really, really high rate of putting students into their academic program, into their academic track. I believe it's over 90%. So it's pretty safe to say that you'll be able to get into your academic track that you're interested in. So first off, let me just quickly move this. So first off, in innovations in science and technology, you will be able to explore a wide range of biological, biomedical, and also other applied sciences topics. And so for students who are interested in STEM and tech, that is your area. And next is our humanities academic track. And in humanities, you will be able to analyze culturally significant works all throughout history. And so from there, you will also just question ideas and explore creative pathways to use the arts to better understand our world. And next, we have my session, Solving Global Challenges. We will discover innovative and cross-disciplinary approaches. And so what makes Solving Global Challenges different is that, as you can see from our other 3 academic tracks, it's STEM, humanities, social sciences. The cross-disciplinary, we draw from all 3, right? Because we can't solve issues in the world only by looking at one discipline. So this is where the cross-disciplinary comes in, and we discover innovative solutions in solving 21st century problems. And next is politics, law, and economics. And this, we study diverse economic theories and the values and practices of governments and legal frameworks in a historical and modern context. And so with that, those are the 4 academic tracks that you will be able to select based on your interest. And from there, we are going to move on to program curriculum. I know there's only 4 program curriculums here, but I promise you there is so much more. And the way that the program works is that these are our 4 core program curriculums. I want you to go to our website, and I also want you to download our sample schedule. As you can see, you are going to be super, super busy from, I want to say 7 a.m. all the way to when the gates close at 10 p.m. And mostly because we want to make sure that our students are academically challenged, and on top of that, to create collaboration all throughout the 2 weeks. And so with that, there are so many other aspects to our curriculum. And however, I am going to be focusing on these 4 today: lecture, seminars, family time, and breakout sessions, because these are the core of our curriculum. So lectures. This is actually a photo from, I want to say 2019, from our politics, law, and economics session. This is Yale Law School, and this is pretty much what it looks like live. So we are going to be exploring and understanding and drawing knowledge from accomplished Yale faculty and also practitioners about the topics that they are researching. And you also get to interact with them as well, because some faculty choose to have special meals, and special meals is not on the little I was going to say like beehive, but was it pentagons? But special meals, what it is that you get to choose topics in which folks are interested in talking about. We've had special meals that go from it's like a Spanish learners table, beekeeping, folks who are first in their family to go to college, and so much more. Like if there's a topic you're interested in, I promise you that there is a special meal for you. But so instead of eating in a dining hall for that meal, you would go to a room and you would just discuss and talk with your fellow instructors and students. But faculty also has special meals as well. So if you listen to a lecture and you're like, oh wow, that's a really interesting lecture, I would love to have lunch with them and pick their brain. And that is where you go. But for lectures, all students in their academic track will be attending the same lecture. As you can see, from all PLE students are attending the same lecture in the photo. These are sample lecturers. These are actually, I realize these are all SGC or Solving Global Challenges lectures. But if you want to see more lectures in a specific academic track, definitely go to our website. So as you can tell in Solving Global Challenges, there is such a wide array of topics. So ranging from creating change in an ever-changing world, in which Onyeka Obiacha, who was the managing director of Sci Center for Innovative Thinking, which is a center at Yale that supports students to be entrepreneurs and their startups. Oni talks about how we can use our values to create an impact, a positive impact in the world. Marianne Chertow talks about pretty much recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. And what is the difference? I know those 3 terms we have learned at a very young age, but they're actually incredibly different. And on top of that, I believe Dr. Chertow was chosen to speak at, was it the G7 conference on behalf of the US, chosen by the president back in 2012. And Dr. Prober, who is the director of Yale Undergraduate Studies, talks about how we can utilize new technology to lessen greenhouse gases and to make sure that we will leave the planet a little better than we found it. And Dr. David Bach, he talks about how the world is becoming a lot more globalized and what that means for politics and economics. And as you can see, actually, I want to say two out of the four have lectured in other in other academic tracks too. And so with that, like, we really truly do invite thought leaders in their field to speak to our students. So next, okay, so you've been to lectures and now, like, what do you do with all this information? What you will be doing is that you'll be going into your small groups, also known as breakout sessions. And with breakout sessions, it will be led by one instructor. And these instructors are undergraduate and graduate students. And they will be supporting you in understanding what it means to think like a college student, right? And to dig deeper into the content and how we can pose questions in which we can think critically about, right? And so a lot of the curriculum, it's based off of small groups because it allows for more intimate conversation, and it also allows students to share their thoughts more freely. And on top of that, students have more opportunities to share their thoughts. And so we're going to continue on the small groups type of track. So as you can see, seminars. So now there are over 1,000 unique seminars that you will be able to choose from, which is why I ask y'all, what topics are you interested in? Because every topic that I've seen so far, it has been covered in our seminars. So seminars are specifically designed to facilitate small group learning environments. And then on top of that, it is also crucial that we have students work together and collaborate in small groups, but also to listen to our instructors during their lecture time as well during these seminars. And so as you can tell, they're from, I want to say there's 5 sample seminars. This ranges from all 4 academic tracks. So the first one is from the STEM track, which talks about the CRISPR. And the second one, where are the water wars? Understanding the global water crisis from an international perspective. That's in solving global challenges. The third one, to tell in the dark, exploring the macabre in film score, literature, and visual art. And that is in our humanities. And the second to last, the AI one, artificial intelligence and the law, that is on our politics, law, and economics. And the last one, fast fashion, consumer ethics, and global supply chains, that is in solving global challenges as well. So these are just one to 2 sample seminars from each academic track. If you want to learn, or if you want a sneak peek on a little more sample seminars in the academic track that you're interested in, go to our website. Okay, so family time. Oh, this is one of my favorite components. And I will tell you why. So when you're here at Yale and at our program, our curriculum is so academically rigorous, because there's another thing that I didn't even tell you about that isn't even on here, because it's not part of the core curriculum, but there's a capstone project that you're going to be researching with and presenting at the end with a group, right? So there is just so much brain power that's being used. And however, one of the times in which you will be able to just talk and laugh and connect with one another outside of like an academic setting, it's during family time. The family time curriculum really truly centers on students and their identities. And on top of that, what you bring to the table and your experiences. And we also do fun social activities as well. And we also reflect deeply on once again, our experiences and the world around us and how we can connect with others, right? And in this photo, it's actually family time. They are having family time out in the courtyard. I think, yeah, they're playing a game right now. I'm like, yeah, they're totally playing a game. So, oh, and on top of that, we also play games. So I promise you, it is not all just like following a certain curriculum. We also love to have fun. All right, so eligibility requirements. Everything here, I know this is a lot of text, everything here is on our website under eligibility. So if don't fret on trying to take notes, feel free to check our website and everything is here. So first off, age. You have to be at least 16 years old by the first day of session 3, which is by July 16th, 2023. And on top of that, students have to be able to prove their English fluency if they are if they aren't as fluent in English, or if English is like their second or third language, mostly because our curriculum is conducted in English and we want to make sure that students are able to participate, right? So English fluency is a must. Grade level. Students have to be a current high school sophomore or junior. I don't know if there are any international students, but there is a international equivalent. Check our website. And next, the graduation date. Students have, if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, in which I think a lot of us are in the Northern Hemisphere, we have to make sure that you are graduating between May and June of 2024 or 2025. And if there are folks here that are in the Southern Hemisphere, your graduation date should be November/December 2023 or 2024. And YYGS participation. Once again, we only are allowing students to participate in our program if it is your first time participating. If there are any students out there who have participated in the past and is in our virtual session, I am so sorry. As much as I would love to have you come back, we are only accepting and admitting students who is going to be a first-time participant at YYGS. So more details about the application. So, okay, you are super interested and you're like, Shu Yi, like, what do I need to get my application together? First, it's an activities list. We want to know, like, what do you do during your free time? Well, how do you spend your time in and out of school? So this allows us to get to know you a little better. And speaking of getting to know you a little better, there is one 400-word essay and one 200-word response. And on top of that, there's 2 fast take responses. They are super quick. They are only like 280 characters each. And then after that, it's an official school transcript, and you will also need to have one letter of recommendation or a recommendation form. So you will just enter the email address of your recommender. We send a form out to them. They complete the form, and it will just automatically be attached to your application. There is an application fee. So early action has passed. So now it is going to be a regular decision. So $75 for the application fee for regular decision. That is, it's not coming up, but it is going to be soon. And make sure that you click on the finalize and pay button on the review page. I realized that, or we realized that some students didn't, and that was such a shame because they worked so hard in their application. So please make sure that you click the finalize and pay button. One thing I do want to say on the application fee is that we do not ever want finances to be a barrier for a student to not be able to apply to our program. And so there is an application fee waiver. More information on how to do so, and it is not hard, I promise you, it is not hard at all. because we want to make sure that students who need the support are supported. So there is an application fee waiver for the students who need it on our website. I know I say check our website because honestly, our website is so comprehensive. There's so many things I haven't even covered that is on our website. So please do go check our website for more information. So financial aid and scholarships. We are incredibly generous with financial aid. And so the tuition, the entire tuition, and tuition is encompassing of room and board and tuition, right? So for 1 2-week session, it's $6,500 USD. And like I said earlier, we are incredibly generous, especially for a pre-college summer program in regards to tuition. And before coming to Yale, I actually sent students to over 60 pre-college programs all across the world. And so YYGS is so special because we offer scholarships to students regardless of their citizenship. So if you're an international student studying in the US, we have aid for you. And for students who are high need students, we offer scholarships that can cover up to 100% of tuition costs, right? And last year we offered over $3 million. And so with that, a lot of students who are who need financial support are able to attend our program. And how do we apply for financial aid and scholarships? We check the website. So we are done with COVID, but COVID is not done with us. And so with that, we want to make sure that you're safe, we're safe, our instructors are safe, Yale is safe, the town of New Haven is safe. So with that, all students must be up to date with their COVID-19 vaccines, right? We do not accept exemptions or proof of antibody tests at this time. So, and the reason why we require all students to be up to date is because you're going to be traveling in packs, right? Lectures, all 150 students are going to be in lectures. You're going to be working in small groups and you're going to be in different groups throughout the day. And if you want to go eat with your friends or if you want to go for like boba runs, you are going to be all over the town. And so with that, we want to make sure that we're taking the precautions to keep you safe because your safety is our number one priority. With COVID, we follow Yale, like the university's policies for COVID, and the university has been updating their policies mostly because COVID is fluctuating, and so we have to make sure that we are on top of it. And so if you have any questions or if you want more information about COVID and how we're dealing with it, please go to this website here, or you can just go to globalscholars.yale.edu and just click on COVID-19 and everything will be there. And if you have more questions and after reading the COVID page and you're like, I actually have more questions, feel free to email us at global.scholars@yale.edu. And that is the conclusion of the presentation. So before I jump to Q&A, if you are interested in coming to join us at Yale this summer, early action has passed, like I said. So a regular decision is coming up. It's so the application is due on January 10th next year at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Please make sure that you are precarious about Eastern Time. We have students who submit it after and they're like, wait, no, it's not 11:59 yet. And they were on the West Coast. And so they passed the deadline. So please make sure that you put a alarm or whatnot, or submit the application before on January 10th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And for folks who do need need-based financial aid, once again, please make sure that you fill out the financial aid application. It is not hard at all. If you have any questions at all in regards to the application, financial aid or not, please feel free to email us. And so with that, you can apply at globalscholars.yale.edu, or if you have any questions, email us at global.scholars@yale.edu. And so now I'm going to be switching over to Q&A. And so feel free to type your questions in the question and answer window. I was like, wait, what's the word? The question and answer window, and I'm more than happy to answer them. And there are no silly questions. No silly questions at all. I've had folks ask me like, how's dining hall food? Dining hall food is actually pretty great. I have been to many universities and like for work and whatnot, and I can definitely say that Yale dining hall food is actually pretty good. Okay, so let me stop sharing so I can focus on the Q&A. Okay, let's see. So first question, can there be more than one recommender? I don't believe so. So because of that, please make sure that the recommender that you choose is the one in which knows you the best, so they can tell us more about who you are, your character, and whatnot. Do we have an online option? No, we don't. I'm like, I wish you applied last year, because we are going to be in person. All sessions are going to be in person after 2 years of online. We miss seeing our students live and in person. Oh, this is a good question. Do you have any tips for the writing portion? Let me just take a sip of water. Yes. So I get this question a lot. The answer that students don't want to hear is be yourself, but at the same time, that doesn't really help you. Be specific. If you want to help people, right? So let's say that you are interested in like supporting others and helping people. The more generic you are, your application will be lost in the shuffle, right? If you want to be memorable, be as specific as possible. And this goes for all other pre-college essays as well. You want to be memorable. So be as specific as you can when it comes to writing these essays. So this way, I can still tell you that one of my favorite essays was a student wrote about a cockroach. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but the student wrote about the point of view from a bug, and that has stuck with me. And then the student recycled that essay, and that got her into Yale. So hey, look at that. But yes, try to be as genuine as you can and to be as specific as you can as well, so you can create a memorable essay. Next, do we have to pay for the food? The tuition, so that's $6,500, covers food. So by the time you're at our program, all the food is not free, but it's covered. And so you can eat as much as you want from our buffet hall. Like, it's like all you can eat ice cream. I've seen students like stack their ice cream cones like up to here. I was like, oh, but yes. The food is covered by the time you get here, and it's like you get 3 meals a day. And however, if you want to explore the Yale shops or go to cafes, there's so many cute little cafes and coffee shops that you will have to pay for. Let's see. If you're in advanced and AP classes and not a straight A student, will it be difficult to handle the workload? No, I don't think so. I think the other thing is that I know that we offer a really rigorous curriculum, but we also care about our students' like emotional and mental well-being, right? And so if you feel overwhelmed, we are there to support you. So as a program manager, I am there to support my students, and your instructor is also there to see if we can like break up the workload a little more, or understand like what is the blockage? Is it like time management? Is it like you just need more resources and research? Like we're there to identify like what the issue is, and then from there we are there to be able to problem solve with you. But I think that if you're in AP classes, you should definitely be able to handle the workload. That's a good question. I'm gonna take a sip of water to see if we have any more other questions coming in. Let's see. Is it harder to get into Yale with no AP classes? So unfortunately, I am not in Yale undergrad admissions. That would be a great question to ask admissions. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that question. How can I transfer the college credits I learned in high school? So the other thing is that we are a non-credit program. And so if you took college credits, you can attach it as a file, but we typically don't look at the college credits if you already have college credits, mostly because we are a non-credit program. And this is for you who are interested in applying to just pre-college programs in general. Programs that are like 8 weeks long and 4 college credit, students, there's typically less program curriculum for the students, right? Because you're treated as a college student, like a full college student. You're taking college classes, so you are on your own. You figure out what to do on your free time. You like do everything on your own. Whereas YYGS is a 2-week program. 2-week programs, it is a lot more structured, right? So it's also catered to high school students, and you'll be learning from college and graduate students and professors. And so this way it's more packed with activities, and on top of that, the curriculum, you're pretty much there to learn how to learn. And so if you make a mistake, right, like that is okay. We're going to fail forward, right? And we're going to support you any way we can. We're like, okay, it's okay. You made a mistake, right? That's all right. Let's course correct, as opposed to an 8-week program that's for college credit. If you bomb a test, that will impact your credit. So that is like pros and cons of a for credit versus non-for-credit program. For credit programs, you're treated as a college student. Non-for-credit programs like YYGS, you learn how to learn, and the program is focused more on you as a high school student. Are there GPA requirements again to this program? Not that I know of. Yeah, not that I know of. Definitely check our website. For eligibility, there isn't a GPA requirement. And the reason why is because, let's say that you have like a 2.5 or something, and we believe that students are more than their GPA, because if a student has experienced like a loss in the family, or just something traumatic that has happened, like it affects their grades. And so low GPAs, to us, it's more than like a student's being lazy, right? Like it's other things and other factors too. So with that, we take GPA into consideration, but we take a look at the application as a whole. Are there any medical pre-college programs? I believe there is. Check out NSLC. They have medical pre-college programs. Would there be a preferred type of person to ask for recommendations, like from a school, or should we prioritize someone we know us best? Yes, that's a really good question. So for recommendations, definitely make sure that you pick someone who can attest to your critical thinking abilities, collaboration and teamwork abilities, and academic abilities. So students have chosen, like if they swim, right, and they spend a lot of time in swim meets and whatnot, they have gotten their coach to write for the letter of rec. I would recommend to have a teacher, mostly because YYGS, it is really academically rigorous. And so when we see a teacher writing a letter of rec, right, to us, we're like, okay, if a teacher's able to speak on behalf of your character um, and your academic prowess, it means a lot to us when it comes to assessing the student. So yes, ask someone who knows you best in an academic setting. Does participating in this program help our chances of getting into Yale? That is a question we get a lot. No, we don't. The answer is no, mostly because, mostly because like Yale undergrad says so. The undergrad admissions office, they're like, nope. But for the class of 2023, 200 YYGS alums got into Yale for the class of 2023. And Yale, I think, I'm like, how many students did Yale accept? Was it 1,000, 2,000? So that's a big percentage because not all pre-college programs are made equal. It is incredibly hard to get into our pre-college program, and so we're like the first filter. And so students who are academically rigorous, once they get into our program, they like Yale, they most likely would apply to Yale. And if they see YYGS on your activities list, they're like, oh, okay, cool. And that's pretty much it. And they also know that you're academically rigorous, right? Because it's hard to get into our program. But no, it does not give you leverage for Yale undergrad. What if you have an early grad program, meaning you take classes from senior classes to graduate early? Will that be a problem? Oh, that's a good question. That's a very specific question that I do not know the answer to, so I don't want to lead you astray. So please email us at, oh, thank you, Leslie. So Leslie in the chat pretty much copied and pasted our website. And then if you have any questions, please email global.scholars@yale.edu for this specific question, because our team is able to get you the answer. What characteristics does Yale students generally have? I would say, I'm going to answer this in regards to YYGS because I feel like I'm better equipped to answer this in regards to YYGS. So Yale Young Global Scholars students, they're curious. They're incredibly curious about how the world works, how their actions impact the world, how history has impacted the way we work socially, politically, historically, economically. They are incredibly compassionate. I think, especially at a place like Yale, you would think that it's like they say like a dog eat dog world. That's the complete opposite. For us, we want students to understand it instead of like, I was like, yeah, instead of seeing each other as competition, instead it's more like, how can we work together so we all succeed? And lastly, they are incredibly open-minded. And what I mean by that is that I think right now, especially in the midterm elections just happened, right, in the US. And right now we are in a more and more politically polarized world, and everything's like black or white. It's either you're right and I'm wrong, or vice versa. Our students, they ask questions before they respond, and they gather information before they respond, instead of just outright saying you're wrong and here's why. So those are the characteristics of a YYGS student. And I would also say that those are characteristics of Yale students. Yale is known for students who are incredibly compassionate, incredibly curious. And on top of that, I would definitely say very supportive of one another. Let's see, next question. Yeah, also, I love these questions. Y'all are asking really, really thought-provoking questions. So keep up the great work. Okay, let's see. In your opinion, do you think the best recommendation letters come from teachers or people you know outside of school? I would say it depends. So there are teachers in which they write recommendation letters and it's just like, you have gave me nothing about the student that would help their application. Or there have been like coaches or if a student volunteers, right, and they ask their like a volunteer supervisor to write them the recommendation form, and they have written like really, really great recommendations. I would say it all depends. There isn't like a straight answer to this question. It Like I said earlier, the best thing to do is choose someone that can attest to your character, your work ethic, your intellectual curiosity, um, how, and someone who's seen you being challenged. Next question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how hard is it to get into this Yale program? If so, why? Yeah, that's a great question. I would say we're like 8.759. I know it's very like odd. Why? So the short answer is experience. So before, I used to send over 600 students a year to pre-college programs from around the world. So I've sent students to Harvard, to Stanford, to Notre Dame, Rice, Brown, Yale is one of them. And the reason why is because of course, the acceptance rate is a lot lower, right, than the other programs. And it's just like me having direct contact with the um, the staff who work there, and also seeing, like, sending 600 students there, I can see the percentages of folks who get in. Yale is one of the hardest, at least for me. I break it down for my students, like reach target safety, right? Pre-college programs application, it's very similar to college apps, right? You have a reach target safety. For YYGS, most students have it as their like reach. Like if this is reach and this is target, it's mostly reach or like somewhere in between. And it's because we offer incredibly generous financial aid, and we are a lot more selective in regards to pre-college programs. Um, what are some potential benefits of attending the program? Is it recognized by other universities we may apply to in the future? Yeah, that is a really great question. So let me answer the second question first, because that is a quick answer. The answer is maybe, and I will tell you why. Pre-college programs, it's still very new in the world, right? And so with that, and folks, unless you work in the pre-college program space, you will not know which pre-college programs are harder to get into versus ones that are easier to get into. Name does not matter. There are some pre-college programs in the Ivies that is a lot easier to get into. And so with that, colleges, universities, they will see it and they're like, cool, right? The student, the student utilized their summer in a positive way, right? Now let's see what else is in their application. So it's acknowledged, but it depends on the admissions officer and if they know the pre-college program world. But I would not say that attending a pre-college program is like a make or break to your college application. What are some potential benefits of attending the program? Yes. Okay, I love this question. So, like I said earlier, you come here and you learn how to learn. I know that sounds really silly. You're like, we learn every day. Like, what are you talking about? Yes. Do you learn or do you memorize? Right? Because like that's pretty much what testing is. You memorize and you regurgitate information. Here at YYGS, we teach you how to think. We teach you how to write. I tell my students, anybody can ask questions, but not everybody can ask the right questions. Because we have to analyze problems. And we have to take into consideration like all different angles. And what a better way to consider all the information than to have such a diverse group of students give their opinions and for you to share their opinions as well. So you are going to enhance your critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is incredibly important, mostly because that is how we solve issues in the world, right? Because if there's a problem, something isn't working, we need a new solution. And our students truly do think of new solutions. We have students who took one of their like group projects and made it into a startup. And then now I think they're on like the Forbes 30 under 30 list. So our students are incredibly um, just passionate about what they do and the topics that they are dedicated to. So yes, learning how to learn. The other thing is during the pandemic, I feel like it really shifted our social skills. Um, at YYGS, you will have the world within reach, right? So you get to socialize and like immerse yourself in a college setting. I know other pre-college programs do that too, but but you are going to have students from over 150 countries. Like you truly have the world within reach. I think the last year's incoming Yale class, they didn't even have 150 countries. So YYGS, like when we say we're diverse, we are incredibly diverse, and it really allows you to expand the way you think. And yeah, and just living at Yale, like I think one of the things that if you're interested in attending Yale undergrad, and if you can't make it to a like here to have an info session live in person, by coming to this program, I think it definitely gives you like a better perspective on our facilities, the way that our professors the way that our professors work, lecture, and to see if you can imagine yourself here in undergrad. And also on top of that, to say like Yale's a big school, right? And if you're like, this school's really big and I think I would do better in a smaller setting. And so that helps you with your college apps and you realize that you're like, I think Brown may be better, right? Or like Bowdoin. Um, so that's also something else too. Or if you see yourself like hanging out in the courtyard, right? If you get an interview for Yale undergrad, you can literally say that, right? You can say like, I spent my summer at YYGS and I can see myself even as an undergrad, like playing volleyball in the courtyard or eating at a Davenport dining hall, or playing ping pong in the butteries, which is another way of like saying the game room. So that's a really good question. So I hope I answered that question in regards to the benefits. How can we increase our chances of getting into this program? Oh, wow, that is a packed and loaded question. Um, I want to, well, first off, when we take a look at the application, we don't zoom in on like one specific thing, right? I know other people say this too, but we take a look at the application holistically. So we really do consider like you as a whole. So showcase your interests to us, right? Like, why are you interested in this? If you're applying to politics, law, and economics, are you already doing like Model Congress? Are you a part of like your journalism club or whatnot? What issues in politics or economics or the law are you interested in? So try to tailor your application around the academic tracks that you selected. And I also want to say, please double check. Please double check your application for grammatical, like blatant grammatical errors. If there's like one, it's just like if it's errors in which we're like, oh, this is so blatant. Like if the student double checked, this wouldn't. I'm like, how do I word this? Don't be careless. Don't be careless. Double check your work. Double check your work before submitting. Um, yeah, that's what I would say. Yes. So tailoring your application to the program, the academic track that you selected. Double check your work for grammatical errors. Make sure that your essay flows, right? Like structure is incredibly important. Give your essays to like a friend, your parents or a teacher, right? To see like, does this essay flow to you? And make sure that it's centered on you because we are gauging you as an applicant. We had students like write essays or have their application that's like talks about like everything else but them. And we're like, no, we want to know about you. So that is how you can increase your chances. in regards to getting into this program. I know we have, I want to say 4 more minutes. I think there are no more open questions. I'm going to take a sip of water, and then if we have any more questions, I'm happy to answer any straggling inquiries. I think we're good. Yeah, drop your last minute questions. I'll give it like a minute. Okay, it's a minute. 7:55. So thank you so much for joining me. This is recorded, so if you're ever curious about revisiting any part of the slides or whatnot, I am sure Leslie is going to be sending the recording out to y'all. And if you have any other questions, email us at global.scholars@yale.edu or go to our website. I know I regurgitate this a lot, but please go to our website. Our website is incredibly, incredibly comprehensive. Um, Last question, do we have to pay for this program? It depends. If you need financial aid, apply for financial aid. If you don't, then you will have to pay out of pocket for this program. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon or night, and I look forward to seeing y'all on campus this upcoming summer. Take care. Bye, everyone.